My channel. Today we are going to be testing reed wire to see if there is any lead in it. So I went ahead and I picked up this trusty little kit that I hauled not too long ago, and we are going to check to see if any of the reed wire in my collection tests positive for lead content. Now, ironically, the lead testing kit has toxic chemicals in it that can cause cancer. So we are going to be putting on some trusty rubber gloves before we get into the testing. All suited up. Let's dig in. Okay, so here is my wire collection. Let's go ahead and cut a piece from Charles Double Reed. This was 22 gauge wire, but I think it actually feels more like 21 gauge wire. Let's go ahead and get our lead check ready to go. It says to go ahead and crush A and B. Okay, and then we're supposed to shake, and some liquid, there it comes, is supposed to come out the end, and that liquid that comes out the end is what will identify if there is lead in this. While squeezing gently, rub the swab on the test area for 30 seconds. If the tip turns red or pink, lead is present. Okay. Let's set our timer. Okay, my phone will not identify my hand because it's in a rubber glove. Siri, set timer for 30 seconds. Okay, so it has been 30 seconds now, and the bit on the end is supposed to turn red if the reed wire had tested positive for lead, and the Charles Double Reed is coming back as not positive, testing for a lead content. That's one. Next up, let's try some of the RJ Leahy. Now, the RJ Leahy I had hauled not long ago in my quest for looking for a wire that was lead-free, and I had heard that maybe it was okay because there was such a minimal amount of lead in it, but I want to know if it is going to actually test positive for lead content. Okay, so testing the RJ Leahy, although it may have trace amounts, after doing the actual lead testing, there is not any red showing up in the end of it, which means that the lead content must be so tiny that it's not applicable. Okay, next up is our trusty hardware store reed wire. Now, this was from Ace Hardware. This was the type of wire I had been using before I moved to the RJ Leahy, just still 22 gauge brass wire. Okay, so after testing my good old-fashioned favorite hardware store brass wire that I could pick up at Ace Hardware, it's also showing up that it is lead-free, or that the amount of lead in it is so minute that the lead testing kit cannot acknowledge it. So I feel so much better about the reeds that I have made for the past 10 years. That was a total win on that one. Next up, let's go ahead and do core fill. Now, core fill is a wire that I believe is manufactured in Canada that I picked up several years ago after doing artist residencies in Banff. Now, this is 21 gauge brass wire. I was testing different gauges of wire to see how it alters the sound. For me, I like the 22 gauge brass wire because I found that the thicker the wire, that's the gauge of the wire, actually gives me a brighter sound. So I've gone back to 22 gauge brass wire, but I do have this in my wire collection, and it's always good to know what I have in my wire collection, how it's working out. Okay, so the core fill wire that I picked up in Canada looks like it's a-okay. So I was looking like it's still yellow, but so far, so good. Okay, let's test Justin Miller's Miller Marketing 22 gauge brass wire. Justin has given me the chemical breakdown of his wire, and it does have trace amounts. So because he was the only one to give me full on breakdown of the compounds that make up his reed wire, I'm especially interested to see if this turns red or pink. Okay, so another bit of reed wire that has come back just fine. That is great news for all of us that are out there and that we are making reeds and we're soaking them in water and then we're putting them in our mouth and worrying about those trace amounts of lead that could be toxic that are possibly in the reeds. We are all gonna be okay. So for me, this is a great day for all of us out there. So if you're jazzed about this and you enjoyed this video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you don't want to miss a future video, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!